The Lost Valley no longer felt like a place on Earth. After the rise of the Hollow Warden, reality itself seemed thinner, stretched to the breaking point. The forest stood frozen in a strange half-life, leaves unmoving, shadows locked in place, sound dampened as if the world was holding its breath. Daniel walked forward carefully, every step echoing inside his chest louder than it should have. Whatever balance once existed here had been disturbed beyond repair. The Hollow Warden was gone from sight, but its presence lingered everywhere. The air carried a hollow pressure, like a memory that refused to fade. The valley remembered its pain. It remembered abandonment. And now, it was waiting to decide what came next. Deep within the valley, the ancient platform cracked further, lines of glowing energy spreading outward like veins. This was not destruction, it was evolution. Bigfoot's sacrifice, the first Warden's awakening, and the rebirth of the forgotten Warden had triggered a chain reaction no one fully understood yet. Daniel felt it then, a pull, not toward danger, but toward responsibility. Visions flooded his mind without warning. He saw Bigfoot as he once was, not a monster, not a legend, but a guardian shaped by choice. He saw ancient humans standing beside creatures of impossible size, united not by fear, but by trust. He saw the first rift opening for the very first time, not through violence, but through curiosity. The truth became clear. The rifts were never meant to be weapons. They were bridges. Long ago, the Guardians were created to protect balance between worlds, but over time, fear corrupted the system. Humans feared what they didn't understand. Guardians feared being replaced. The ancient intelligence exploited that fear, turning balance into conflict. The Hollow Warden was proof of that failure, a guardian abandoned, sealed away, forgotten until pain hollowed it out. A deep tremor shook the valley, snapping Daniel back to the present. The ground ahead split open, revealing a vast chamber beneath the platform. Light poured upward, pulsing in slow, deliberate rhythms, like a heartbeat. The core was calling again. Daniel descended carefully into the chamber, feeling the weight of history press down on him with every step. The walls were covered in moving symbols, stories etched in light, rewriting themselves as he watched. This was the valley's memory, alive and conscious. At the center of the chamber stood something new. It wasn't Bigfoot, it wasn't the first Warden. And it wasn't human, it was smaller, humanoid in shape, composed of shifting light and stone, with traces of golden energy running through its form. Its eyes glowed softly, not with power, but with awareness. "The next Warden," Daniel whispered. The being turned toward him. When it spoke, its voice echoed with many layers, guardian, human, and something entirely new. "Not a Warden," it said. "A bridge." The revelation hit Daniel harder than any battle ever had. Guardians were no longer meant to stand apart. The age of separation was ending. Balance could no longer be enforced from above or below, it had to be shared. But the ancient intelligence had not been defeated. A violent distortion rippled through the chamber as the air above the core twisted inward. Shadows bled through the cracks in reality, forming a familiar but more refined shape. The ancient intelligence manifested again, not fully, but enough. "You misunderstand," it said, its voice smooth and endless. "Shared balance leads to chaos. Choice leads to collapse. The bridge stood firm. Choice leads to growth." The intelligence lashed out, sending waves of pressure that shattered stone and bent light itself. Daniel was thrown back, slamming into the chamber wall. Pain exploded through his body, but he forced himself to stay conscious. This wasn't a battle of strength. It was a battle of philosophy. The intelligence attacked the bridge's structure, trying to unravel the merged essence holding it together. Images flashed rapidly, humans destroying nature, guardians turning on each other, worlds collapsing due to selfish choices. The bridge absorbed it all. Then it responded, not with force, but with connection. Across the world, people felt it again. A second call, stronger than before. Not a command, an invitation. Scientists paused mid-sentence. Soldiers lowered their weapons. Children looked up at the sky, sensing something vast but gentle. Human intention flowed into the core. Not blind faith, not obedience, understanding. The intelligence recoiled violently. "This system is flawed," it roared. "They will fail you. Then they will learn," the bridge replied calmly. Golden light surged outward, not destroying the ancient intelligence, but severing its influence over the rifts. The shadows screamed as they were pulled back beyond the veil, the cracks sealing behind them one by one. The chamber fell silent. Slowly, the bridge turned to Daniel. "Your role is not finished," it said. "You were never meant to fight alone. You were meant to witness, and to remember." The bridge stepped into the core, dissolving into pure energy that spread throughout the valley and beyond. The core stabilized, its pulse steady and calm for the first time in centuries. Daniel struggled to his feet as the chamber began to reshape itself. The walls smoothed, the symbols slowing, settling into permanent forms. The valley was no longer reacting. It was resting. When Daniel emerged back into the forest, dawn was breaking. Sunlight filtered through the trees, warm and real. The oppressive weight was gone. Birds began to sing again, hesitant at first, then confident. The lost valley was no longer hidden. It was open, not as a battleground, but as a threshold. Daniel looked back once more, feeling the presence of Bigfoot, of the first warden, of every guardian who had sacrificed themselves for balance. They weren't gone. They were everywhere. And somewhere deep within the world, something new stirred. Not an enemy, not a monster, but a challenge yet to be defined. The age of guardians had ended. The age of bridges had begun. And the story was far from over.